Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a dish that is very similar to jambalaya. Instead of rice, we're going to put in pasta. So for this, you're going to need about 8 ounces of boiled, 8 ounces of cooked ziti. And I've already cooked that and set it aside, drained it and everything. And now I'm working on about a pound of chicken thighs that I have chopped up, and I've cooked those in a little bit of olive oil, and right now I'm going to remove them. You don't need to cook them all the way because we're going to throw them back in and they need to not turn into little bitty brown hockey pucks or little rubbery chicken. So we're going to take those out, and I sliced up about a pound of smoked sausage. We're going to put that in here, and we're just going to brown it for about 5 minutes or so in the chicken drippings. I cut them, slice them, and then I cut them in half. Because I didn't want the huge, big bites of sausage. So we're going to put those in there. I'm going to brown these for just a few minutes. And then we're going to add, recipe calls for this whole bag of seasoning blend, but I'm only going to put about half in. Because I just feel like a whole bag of that's a little bit too much. So it's a really simple recipe. It's got very few ingredients. It's not really involved like a regular jambalaya would be. And I also wanted to point out, this chicken was seasoned with Tony's. You can do it with Slap Your Mama, or you can do it with Tony's. Now, some people don't understand the difference between the two spices. They're very similar. They can be used in about the same dishes or recipes. Slap Your Mama is Cajun, whereas Tony's is Creole. And if you want hot and heat, use Slap Your Mama. If you want just that flavor but without all the heat, use Tony's. So I used Tony's, and I just seasoned my chicken with it, cooked it in some olive oil, and now we're working on the sausage. Now I'm going to go ahead and add about half of this bag of the seasoning blend. You know what? We're going to go ahead and do the whole thing. We're just going to go ahead and do the whole bag. It's about 10 ounces, I think. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just add the whole thing. We're going to do that. We're just going to keep stirring it. Let this cook for another 5 minutes or so. Soften it up just a little bit. I'm going to add just a touch more olive oil so it don't stick. You want to make sure you continuously stir and scrape and make sure that it's not sticky. And as soon as this is ready for the next ingredients, I will come right back. Okay, y'all, so now we need to add some chicken broth, can of diced tomatoes with the juice, and these tomatoes were supposed to have some Italian seasoning in them, so I'm going to go ahead and add that little bit in there that it's missing and hope that that'll work. Okay, now we also need to add the seasoning for the actual recipe, which is some more garlic powder, some basil, and some parsley. And I'm going to stir all that up. We'll add our chicken back. Ugh. To that. We're also going to add some pepper and some kosher salt. All right, we're going to add the pasta back to this too, but I want to make sure that this has some time to cook before we do that. So let's give this a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm going to add this ziti in here that's already cooked. And I'm supposed to bring this to a boil. Just make sure you check that your chicken is completely done. And that'll be it. It'll be ready to serve. So I'll come back with the finished product. Hey y'all. So this is the finished product. Don't forget to add about a half a teaspoon of that Creole seasoning, which will be that Tony's. If you use that, slap your mama if you use that. It tastes real great. It's very flavorful and it's good on a tight budget. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a rotel chicken pasta. And I've already got some of my things that I needed to do for the recipe done. Your pasta, your rotini pasta that you're going to use, go ahead and cook you a whole 16-ounce box of that in boiling water, just like the package directions, except add a little bit of chicken bouillon to your water. Just a tablespoon or so should work. Now, I'm going to take my chicken breast that I got chopped up into bite-sized pieces. It was 2 very large chicken breasts. And I'm going to put them in this bowl. And, I'm going to do a couple little things for it. As soon as I find out where that piece of meat went. I thought I dropped something. Maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Anyway, sorry y'all. You're going to need some of this as well. And you gotta have some olive oil. So you're going to need a little bit of olive oil. And you're going to need a tablespoon of taco seasoning. I'm just using generic Walmart taco seasoning. You're only going to need a tablespoon or 2. So it just depends on you. I'm going to put that much. A little bit of a heaping tablespoon. And I'm going to cut this open. Slap your mama, Cajun. This is going to be spicy. And I'm only going to do a little bit of this in there. Like a half a teaspoon or so. I don't want it too hot. Okay. May not even been a half. Anyway, you're going to take this and you're going to mix it up. And mix it up really well. And we're going to put this in this skillet. Let me go ahead and get my skillet going. Go ahead and get your skillet warming up while you're stirring it up. And we'll go ahead and put some olive oil in here. And then I'm going to need a tablespoon of butter. We'll get that going. And that way I can move the camera and I can show y'all what I'm doing next, which will be cooking this chicken. So, make sure that's all good and mixed because it likes to, because it's kind of wet, it likes to clump. And save that open packet of taco seasoning because you're going to need some more out of that. Let me see. I'm going to check over everything. So about a tablespoon of oil. It don't have to be olive oil. And a tablespoon of butter. And then we're gonna move over. We're already getting that hot. We're gonna move over to the skillet real quick. Okay, so we've got that going. We'll move that around a little bit. We're gonna pour all this in here. And you're gonna cook this until it's no longer pink. And then I will be right back. And we'll talk about what to do next. Just a few minutes, I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so the chicken is cooked. I pulled it out of the pan. I cut my pan just a little bit, burner under my pan, a little bit lower than what it was. I left all the juices and all the oils, everything in there. And we're going to use that to cook our vegetables. Okay, now add a tablespoon of butter. And what I'm going to put in next is half of a red onion and 2 green bell peppers diced. You can add 3 bell peppers, any color combination you want, and a whole red onion if you prefer that. I just didn't want all that bell pepper. I mean, that's a lot of bell pepper, so and there's the sticker to the bell pepper. Lord. Anyway, you're going to mix this up real quick. You set your chicken, you took the chicken out, you set it aside. It's just sitting over there real happy. And now turn the heat up to about a medium heat. And then I'm going to saute these until they're soft. We're going to add some garlic powder. I think we got to do garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of paprika. So some garlic powder or fresh garlic, either one. Onion powder. And some paprika, and I'm not going to put too much in there of the paprika. The rest, by all means, I'm going to use the whole measurement for those. Let me make sure that we got everything we do. Alright, we're going to cook this down. So, it's going to take a few minutes on medium-high heat. You can add just a little skosh of olive oil if it seems like things are sticking or anything like that. So cook these down until they're soft, and I'll be right back with you to tell you what to do next. Okay, y'all. So my veggies are softened. We've already seasoned them. We're going to add a can of Rotel. Do not drain. Yes, it can be generic. And yes, it can be as spicy or as mild as you prefer. And we're going to go ahead and pour in, you can use heavy cream or milk. We're going to do 1.5 cups of milk. This is supposed to be on medium-high heat. So I'm going to do milk, but you can also do heavy whipping cream. You could probably even do half and half if you wanted to. Alright. Because this is just to help it make it creamier. Alright. Alright, I'm just going to stir that in. And we're just going to let that warm up just a little bit. And then we're going to put our Velveeta in. Let it warm up just a little tiny bit. That way the Velveeta will already start to melt. You're going to need about, I can't remember, let me see. 12 ounces of cubed Velveeta. Now, if you get the Velveeta, now this is generic, it doesn't matter really what you use. 16 ounce is the little small box. And you're going to leave off about 3 or 4 ounces of that. Well, I don't think it needs to be like super, correct. But just make sure you cut off a little bit off the end. You need a majority of that box though. Alright. This is about how much Velveeta I'm putting in. We're going to put it in here. You're going to mix this in, and you're going to bring this anyway. You're going to melt it, mix it in really well. Then we're going to add our pepper jack and our cheddar and our pasta and our chicken, and we're basically finished. So we're just going to let this sit here for a few minutes and melt. I'll be right back with you. Okay, y'all. So the Velveeta is pretty much melted. I think I have a couple little cubes to go and it'll be completely melted. I'm just going to keep stirring. Try not to make a mess. I've got 4 ounces of shredded pepper jack and 4 ounces of sharp cheddar. And I'm going to put those in. And we're going to stir those up. And those should melt rather quickly. Medium-low heat. Don't want anything to burn, and I don't want anything to be bubbly. We're just warming things up and melting things. And now it's a big old thing, a big old pan of cheese, basically. I'm gonna go and get my pasta. We're gonna add that back. It's a whole pound of rotini, cooked or boiled in chicken bouillon. I want to make sure I got everything. Hopefully won't make too much of a mess. Wipe my hand off here. Ooh, need a big pan. Bigger pan. This is not big enough. All right. I already turned my burner off because things are starting to sizzle. So, and everything is cooked. We just got to add it all back in. It looks really good. It's really colorful. I decided to go with green bell pepper even though certain members of my family are not a fan. But I don't think they're going to eat this anyway. And green bell pepper is cheaper. I don't know if you've ever known that to be true, but it is true. You usually have to pay per pound if it's any other color, red, yellow, orange. Or you can usually get them in a pack. That's what I typically do when I have to use those. Ugh, please don't spill. And you spilled. Lovely. Alright, so now we're going to add the chicken back into this pan that's already overflowing. Yeah, I'm doing great today, y'all. And I'm just going to slowly fold this in. Slowly fold. And that's basically the gist of this recipe. I am going to come to you here in a few minutes after I clean my mess up and get this all combined. And we'll do an end to this video. But honestly, I don't see anything that you should put with it unless you want to add like a green salad or maybe some green beans on the side. But, I mean, this would be very good comfort type meal at the end of the week when you had a really long week and you just need some comfort. And it makes a lot. I think the recipe said it makes enough for 8 people. This is way more than 8. I'm just saying. If it is 8 people, I mean, it's generous portions. Alright. See how pretty that looks? Alright, so let me plate it up and I'll show you the final. Okay, y'all, so this is a finished product. We're just going to have a comfort food kind of night. I'm not going to put anything with it. I did cut up a few green onions, put on top. Now, as for the reserved taco seasoning, you can stir about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of that in, depending on taste, at the end when you're stirring in the pasta and the meat. I tasted it. It, to me, was perfect. It's just the way I wanted it. Just a hint of that kind of seasoning. And that's all I wanted. But if you want something more heavier than that, then you're definitely going to have to add at least a teaspoon or two of the taco seasoning. But that's it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. A lot of prep work with this. Not tons and tons, but a good bit. But perfect for tonight. It's not too heavy with the cheese. I know that I put quite a bit in there, but it actually tastes perfect. Ratio to pasta to chicken. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.